So this is a story of how my abusive family member, who I have been referring to as Mary, sabotaged my plans to go to the UK for a master's program last year. In this video, I'm going to be focusing on another aspect of abuse known as financial or economic abuse. So in February of 2024, I got an interview with the University of the Arts London. I had applied to their audio and video journalism master's program, submitted my portfolio and everything. They loved it and they invited me to interview. Not only did the interview go well, I got an offer on the spot. I got a verbal offer on the spot from the head of the program. And the reason why she gave me an offer on the spot was because, according to her, a lot of the reasons why international students couldn't make the program was finances, right? So she wanted me to have enough time between February and when the program started in September to get my finances in order and, get the ball rolling. Now, there's a video I made on my TikTok and my YouTube where I talked about escaping from home in 2018, 4 months after my dad died. And the reason I escaped from home was because my other abusive family member, Joseph, threatened to unalive me for going to seek financial advice concerning my father's estate from an actual financial expert. I was living on my own in a one-studio apartment up until 2021 when Mary and Joseph called a meeting in a public place and told me that they were going to give me one of the assets that was part of my inheritance, and I was allowed to live in the asset, but when I was ready to go back to school or go back to get a second master's, I could sell the property to pay for school. Now, when I got this offer from UAL, I was still very low contact with Mary, and I had no choice but to inform her because even though the asset was given to me, Mary had stalled the transfer ownership process. So the asset wasn't in my name. So when I shared the news with her, I sent her the offer letter and I said, I've gotten this offer to pursue a master's. Like you promised in 2021, I would like to sell this apartment and pay for school. So can you please start the transfer ownership process so I can facilitate the sale? I don't even want you to do it. I will do it myself. Now, Mary immediately refuses and says instead she's going to sell her gold jewelry and give me the money that I need so that the asset stays in the family property. I'm like, I don't want you to sell your gold. I want to sell this asset that I was told was an investment property, that it existed to be sold so that if anyone in the family wanted to go to school, they would be able to pay for it without any issues. Her counter offer is to sell the property and give me less than 10% of the sale as my inheritance, and she wants to keep the rest of the money. What do you mean? And she said, well, because I helped to finish the apartment and it cost me 12 million naira. I want part of the money that I spent to finish. Okay, that's fine, but what about the rest of the money? How can you tell me that an investment property that was designated to me, I can only get less than 10% of the amount sold, and you want to keep the rest, which is more than the 12 million that you spent finishing it? So because I am my father's daughter, I start to negotiate and I'm like, okay, you're offering me X amount of money from the sale. I would like that to be bumped up to this amount of money so that it can cover my tuition for 2 years in addition to the scholarship that I got from UAL. She immediately flies into a rage fit and starts yelling at me. How dare you? Who gave you the audacity to tell me that you want more money? Who gave you the audacity to tell me that you want more money? How can you tell me that you want to negotiate? She just kept using this word audacity. Now, in that moment, I knew that the property was not going to be sold and I knew I was not going to get any money from the house. I also knew that Mary had no plans to sell her gold jewelry because, trust me, guys, when I say that that woman treats her gold jewelry and her designer bags better than she treats her family members, I am actually not exaggerating. So at that point, I call up my friends and we're like, let's come up with a plan B. One of my friends offers to loan me the rest of the money and put me on a payment plan, but that was an absolute last resort. Instead, I applied for a full scholarship, which I didn't get, but I got a £14,000 scholarship from the school. And then we're like, all right, let's figure it out. We have a couple of months. Maybe Mary will come through. She never did. And, we can make it happen. Now in April, I call Mary to talk about the sale of a car. I made a video about it, and Mary uses that conversation to insult me, insult my father, insult his grave, mock me, accuse me of crazy things. And that was when I went no contact with her. And at that point, I knew I wasn't going to go to school. And not only that, Mary actually admitted in an email that she intentionally stopped the transfer ownership process because she did not want me to relocate. She actually wrote it in an email. She actually wrote it in an email. Yeah, my family member. So why did Mary do this? Well, in 2023, Joseph was exposed for being an abusive man in his relationship. Shocker. And then I was accused of being an enabler because I was related to him. And I put out a public statement making it clear that I've never condoned violence against women and I've never enabled Joseph's behavior. Why? Because one, I did not know about any of these girls. Any of them. None of them ever came to me to tell me that Joseph did XYZ, and a number of them knew of me, and some of them knew me personally. I didn't get a call, I didn't get a text, I didn't get a goddamn email. Secondly, I never stayed in Joseph's relationship business. He never brought a girl to me. He never said, oh, this is a girl I'm dating now. If I found out, it was after the fact. So when I publicly stood against what he did, Mary and Joseph accused me of being a problem child, a problem family member, someone who talks too much, and they decided to punish me by planning and executing a smear campaign. Joseph went on Twitter and publicly denied ever abusing me, denied that Mary ever abused me, and said that they gave me a car and a house, so how the hell would they have abused me if they did this? Joseph also posted doctored messages that made it seem like I was on his side. I'm going to tell my own side of the story in my next couple of videos, but I just wanted to say that the reason why Mary sabotaged my plans to go to school was to punish me. Her expectation was that I would come to her and beg her and say, please, I'm sorry, I should never have said anything. You never abused me. I take it back. You and Joseph are perfect. Over my living body. Over my living body. After the terrible things, forget what they did to me, what they did to my father, I haven't even begun to go into the details. Was I disappointed? Yes. But my father raised me to never see another person's money, including his own money, as my money. He raised me to never feel entitled to his money, no matter how much money he made. So I didn't fight Mary about it. I didn't go and, shout and say, give me my property, I want to sell it, what's wrong with you? I just decided that, you know what, maybe this is an opportunity for me to move forward with my life. And if I can't go to school this year, no problem, I'll reapply again in 2027. My friends were disappointed too because a good amount of my friends have relocated to the UK and they were looking forward to me joining them. Now, in November of 2024, last year, I get a LinkedIn DM from Director of Admissions at a distance learning MBA program. And he tells me that my profile is a great fit for their African Leadership Scholarship. And he invites me to apply for the MBA program and for the scholarship as well. Now, during the scholarship interview, it was a video interview. One of the questions they asked was, why do you think you deserve the scholarship? And I was honest with them and I said, I have been a victim of financial abuse, that my father's estate is currently being managed by two extremely abusive people. And one of them sabotaged my plans to go to the UK, to go to this program. I was 100% honest. And I got the fucking scholarship and I got into the goddamn program. I've also learned that when some opportunities come after you've experienced disappointment and they align with your life, regardless of whether it was part of your plans that year or something you've never thought about, say yes to it. What harm can come from me getting an executive MBA? Absolutely no harm. So for people who don't think that financial abuse is a real thing, it is 1,000% a real thing. This is my own experience with it. Different people experience different kinds of financial abuse, but this was my own experience. I'm in a great program now. I'm really happy and I'm looking forward to graduating with an executive MBA from the Quantic School of Technology and Business.